Grandpa, look at this. It's called The History of Dogs. Did you know someone actually wrote a whole book about dogs?
Oh, Mia, you'd be surprised how much history our furry friends have. Dogs have been part of human life for thousands of years, longer than you might think.
Really? Like, since when? The 1800s?
The 1800s? Oh no. Try tens of thousands of years ago, back when humans were still hunters and gatherers.
Tens of thousands. Wait, so you're saying dogs were around before cities, schools, and phones?
Exactly. They didn't start out as pets, though. Imagine this: wild wolves scavenging near human camps. Over time, some wolves realized that hanging around humans was easier than hunting alone. They were the smart ones.
So wolves just invited themselves over to dinner?
Ha! Something like that. Humans probably fed the less aggressive wolves scraps, and a bond began to form. It was mutual survival. Humans got help with hunting and guarding camps, and the wolves got food and protection in return.
Wait, are you telling me Max here is related to wolves?
He sure is. All dogs today, from scrappy terriers to giant Great Danes, trace their lineage back to wolves. Scientists believe the domestication process started roughly 20 to 40,000 years ago,
40,000 years? That's older than the pyramids.
by a long shot. It happened so gradually that humans didn't necessarily realize they were domesticating wolves. But over generations, those wolves began to evolve into creatures that looked and behaved more like dogs.
That's wild. So what? Wolves went from howling at the moon to curling up by the fire?
In a way, yes. As humans settled down, their canine companions adapted too, becoming better hunters, herders, and guards. By the time agriculture began around 10,000 years ago, dogs were already part of many societies.
Oh my gosh, Grandpa, look at this picture. This dog looks like it's wearing ancient Egyptian jewelry.
Ah, yes, the Egyptians were big fans of dogs. They saw them as loyal protectors. In fact, wealthy families often gave their dogs elaborate burials, complete with grave goods for the afterlife.
Max, sir, you are clearly overdue for some royal treatment.
If Max had lived in ancient Egypt, they might have prepared him for the afterlife in golden collars and soft linens. But Egyptians weren't the only ones who valued dogs. Ancient Greeks wrote about dogs in literature, and the Roman Empire kept dogs as guards and hunters. Dogs traveled the ancient world alongside armies, traders, you name it.
Okay, but I've got to know. When did the whole dog breeds thing start? Like, when did people start deciding, I want a Pomeranian or I want a Husky?
Good question. Selective breeding for specific traits really took off during the Middle Ages. In Europe, people began breeding dogs for specialized jobs, like sheepdogs for herding, hounds for hunting, or mastiffs for guarding.
And now we've got like a billion breeds.
More or less. Over centuries, those breeds were refined further. By the 19th century, kennel clubs started keeping official records of canine lineage.
So Max is basically the result of centuries of genetic fine-tuning.
Precisely. But no matter the breed, at their core, dogs have always been more than workers. They're companions, living proof of a bond between humans and animals that's lasted through wars, migrations, and industrial revolutions.
And now they chase tennis balls and beg for pizza. What a life.
Don't be fooled, Mia. Dogs haven't forgotten their roots. Their instincts, like barking to protect or tracking a scent, are echoes of those ancient wolves. Even Max here has wolf DNA hiding somewhere in him.
Really? You mean underneath all this fluff, there's a wolf ready to pounce?
Not quite, but some dogs, like huskies or malamutes, do resemble their wolf ancestors more than others. And let me tell you, humans have relied on those instincts more times than you can imagine. So, Mia, ready to dive deeper? I've got a few more books on canine history if you're interested.
Bring it on, Professor. But only if Max gets to be part of the lesson.